What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today on the Dissect That Film podcast, we are covering one of my personal favorites when it comes to the holidays, Krampus. Groß von Krampus, as they would say. I probably butchered that really bad, and I apologize to all my German and Austrian audience out there. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful DNA Gaming, consisting of Dan and Angela. Welcome back.
That's Roller.
So,
Candy
canes. We're all festive. Me and Angela, we came. She's got the actual movie Krampus on her shirt, which is awesome. I have the old 1800s, 1700s drawing of Krampus stuffing children into a basket.
I like it, dude.
I do too. It's a really cool shirt.
They're both very cool.
Yes.
Shirts.
Oh, I love the design of Krampus in this movie. He's awesome. So but yeah, today it's Krampus, a movie that I remember seeing, I think, when it came out on Blu-ray and DVD in its original release back in 2015, 2016. And boy, I fell in love. Accidentally showed my son when he was way too young this movie. It was on TV one time, and I said, fuck it, I'm not changing the channel. Gave him nightmares for weeks, maybe months. So, yes, Father of the Year.
So I told you why we shouldn't watch this.
This movie has got some really scary fucking creatures in it.
Well, see, we didn't watch it because I kept thinking it was R-rated.
Oh.
I didn't know it wasn't. We're like, oh. And she's like, well, we should watch it. I was like, no, we shouldn't watch this around the kids. Right after Christmas? Are you kidding me? They would have been traumatized from Santa forever.
I think that's why I showed it to my, where I didn't care, because I was like, oh, it's PG-13, it's fine. And then I remember the scene in the attic, and I was like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have showed my son this. But it was to the point where it was too late. He already saw it, and I was like, well, we might as well just finish it off, you know?
Yep.
This movie was released on it was premiered on November 30th, 2015, but the worldwide release of it was December 4th, 2015. And the reason why this was pushed to that date was to coincide with Krampusnacht, a traditional Austrian festival held on December 5th that celebrates the Krampus coming to punish naughty children. So that's cool.
Celebration for the punishment.
Yes. This was directed by Michael Dougherty, who earlier, I believe in 2007, directed Trick or Treat, which is a fantastic anthology movie set on the wonderful day of Halloween. And he directed the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is just a delight. We've reviewed it on this channel, so make sure to check that out. I personally really enjoy the movies that Dougherty creates. I'm excited. Really nothing crazy going on, though, when it comes to directing. I think we said it off, before we started recording that they announced Trick or Treat 2, which is exciting to get more of that style of a story. And he does a lot of producing. He produced some duds like Superman Returns and X-Men Apocalypse, which are not a well favored movies in the comic book community. But he is also in the works of producing the Hellraiser TV series, which I don't know what that entails, what that's going to be about, if it's going to be a retelling of the original Hellraiser movie, or if it's going to be more closely based on the story by Clive Barker. I don't know. Hellraiser's a weird freaking series, and I'm interested to see what he does with it.
Yes.
Of course, this movie is based on the story of Krampus, which is a folk tale, a German and Austrian folk tale about this creature that literally punishes children for being bad around Christmas. But it actually predates Santa Claus, according to German and Austrian folklore. It predates. So in this movie, what Krampus is he's Santa's shadow. Pretty much Santa brings presents and goodies to all the good boys and girls out there. But Krampus is the one who punishes all the naughty kids. He goes and in old folklore, he is actually the one who does the punishing. He would literally literally there's stories where he would break down doors of children, just kill them or kidnap them. Like if you look on this shirt, this is an old interpretation of Krampus where he literally goes into your room and he's got a basket and he just shoves you in it and then takes you away. This is terrifying.
Well, Billy's been eating a lot of biscuits this year, just shoving him in.
He's a demon. He's pretty much a demon. I like the way the way that they create him in this movie, where he is he's more of the leader, where he doesn't really get his hands dirty. He's got his group around him to do all the dirty work. And and instead of just kind of getting the job done, he likes to toy with all the victims of his game.
There's a joke there somewhere.
Is there?
Yeah, you said toy.
Oh, yeah. So
carry on.
Yeah, so Michael Dougherty, he described Krampus as, like I said before, Santa Claus's shadow. He stated that he is not the unstoppable monster that kicks down your door and rampages and grabs you. There's something darkly playful about him. He's having a good time doing what he does, and he enjoys the cat and mouse aspect of it. I like it.
I could feel that.
Michael Dougherty was very much influenced by, when I heard he was very much influenced by Gremlins, I was like, heck yeah, because this kind of felt kind of Gremlin-like in a way.
Dark comedy.
Yeah, dark comedy, and it had like these really terrifying creatures, even though I feel the creatures in this movie are a lot more scary than the Gremlins from the Gremlin series, but I think that's the whole point. Like pretty much what the creatures you see in this movie are your typical old, the toys that you would have gotten back in the day, back when your grandmother was a kid. The typical Jack in the Box. You would, the gingerbread cookies, man. If those things weren't alive, those gingerbread cookies look good. Those were thick ass. Those were thick with 2 C's. Ass like gingerbread.
It was like it's like literal bread. Like they were so thick.
Oh, they were ginger men.
It's funny because we did Gremlins last week, and there's a scene where the mom makes the gingerbread men that one of the Gremlins ends up eating, and those were thick ass. Like people just like, I need those. Yeah, we're absolutely doing it wrong. I don't know if I've ever made gingerbread men in my house. It's something I don't know if my wife is like wants to do. It's kind of hard to make. Like you either burn them or they're bad.
Yeah,
I'm not a big. Oh, go ahead.
I've made gingerbread from scratch, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm not a big gingerbread. There's a lot of other cookies and confections I'd rather have before gingerbread. So
my favorite was, I worked in retail at a big retail store, and they would have like the Little Debbie's gingerbread men that were in like the individually wrapped plastic, and they were soft as hell. Oh my God, I would buy box upon box of those things. Those were great. But I don't know if I've ever had a legit freshly made gingerbread man ever. So
just quick question on the subject. You know what? I'll ask it later. No, just keep going. I'll ask it later. Seeds.
I love I love the opening, how everything is iced over. You got the iced over Universal symbol and all that. Yeah. Originally, Michael Dougherty wanted to use the old 80s Universal logo because this really felt like a classic, like Gremlins. It was a very much a Gremlins feel to that to this movie. And Gremlins, of course, came out in 1984. So, it was kind of a nice throwback, but unfortunately they weren't able to do it. So they went with the iced over look, which was another cool effect. So the only way that this movie was going to get greenlit was if it was PG-13, just because there was a lot of controversy around rated R Christmas movies, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Black Christmas, which are the 2 most famous horror movies that are based around Christmas time. It was really hard to get those movies made, and it was really hard to get people to go see them. So in order to get this greenlit, and the way that Universal was going to see dollar bills was if they, made it PG-13, which I think even at PG-13, this movie is borderline. This is borderline.
I don't think I suffered from it at all.
No,
I never at one point during this movie did I feel like this should have been rated R, or this would have been better if it was rated R. I thought it was great the way it was.
This movie was, I think, short and sweet. It was only a 97-minute movie. I think there wasn't any lull moments for me. I think everything was just perfectly paced It felt great, except for something I know.
Stop it.
I know Angela mentioned it in our little chat about one scene, which I personally thought was fucking terrifying. And
It's good. It really is. For the most part, it's a really great scene. I just think they could have put that elsewhere. Just my opinion.
That's why we're here. We're here to voice our opinions. This stars Adam Scott, Toni Collette, David Koechner. I can never pronounce this dude's name. Allison Tolman, Conchata Farrell, who she is most famous for 2.5 Men, which is a show with Charlie Sheen. And you know, she passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But she's great in everything that she was in. And we also have a couple relatives that were in this movie. The actress who played Beth and the actress who played Stevie are real life sisters, but in this movie they played cousins, which was pretty cool. And then looking back, you kind of can tell because they both are full of freckles, and their facial they look alike. Toni Collette. This would be, I believe, 3 years before she would go on to star in another amazing horror movie, Hereditary, which we are definitely going to be reviewing on this show because that movie is just, oh man, you want to tell like this is a horror movie and if you say it's not, you're crazy. This is definitely a horror movie. There are parts that are scary. But yeah, Toni Collette, man, she got robbed for Hereditary. She should have been nominated and should have won the Oscar for that movie because she was brilliant. And I can't wait to talk about that down the road. Adam Scott.
I just heard it's rough. I just heard Hereditary is rough.
We'll have to watch Hereditary, and then we got to watch Midsummer, which is by the same director. Adam Scott's in this, and I thought he did a great job. You know, of course, he is known for comedy, from Parks and Recreation to Step Brothers and so on and so forth. He's a very funny guy. He's very good at playing an asshole, but I think the way that he portrays this character, Tom, in this, I think he was a great.
I did a good job.
I think he did a great job. Of course, David Koechner, or Koechner, however you pronounce his name, plays Howard. He's well known for being in The Office. He was in the 2 Anchorman movies. He's just great at being an asshole. He is literally an asshole in almost everything he's in. It's just too much, man. And of course, you have Allison Tolman, who plays his wife Linda, who is kind of just she's that character who's married. She knows she's married to the asshole, but she sees no better way of living. Like there's no better life for her, so she's kind of stuck. She's got 4 kids with her. She's got the twins, and then she's got Howie Jr., who this kid. What the fuck, man?
Adds nothing to the movie whatsoever,
other than watching him get pulled through the chimney, which is just
that's it. Yeah,
perfection. And then we get the baby. I don't even know what did the baby have a name? Chrissy. Okay. Glad somebody was paying attention in that.
Well, see, it's okay. You didn't remember the baby's name. They didn't remember the baby in the fucking truck. So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah. That's true.
She's just unforgettable.
And of course, we can't forget Krista Stadler, who plays Omi, who is actually from Austria herself, who literally speaks. Is she speaking German?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of hard to tell because German. Do Austrians speak Austrian, or like what is the language there? Like, do they speak an offset of German? Like, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't know how languages work.
I don't know either. They may have a common root language.
I mean, I know that people can learn multiple languages. I'm not one of those people, but there are a lot of people out there who know multiple languages because but
they speak German.
Okay.
It's their official language.
Okay. Yeah, she is literally from Vienna, Austria, and I believe from what I have read, she literally, this was like one of her, I think maybe her first ever American role, because she is well known in Austria and Germany. for doing films over there. But of course, if you're doing a movie about Krampus, you got to have that. You got to have that connection with the land that the story. Gizmo, chill out over there. Comes from.
I was confused. Like, what?
One-eared Gizmo. He fell over. He's fine though.
Oof.
I think she's a great character. I love her demeanor the whole time, where she knows what's going on, but she's not freaking out like everybody else until, even until the end. She's very calm and collected because she knows what's in store.
Well, I think she's just better at hiding it than most everybody else. You can see there's times where she's just legitimately concerned about what's going on. She just doesn't outwardly show it as much.
Yeah.
She's only hooting and hollering. And
Right. And then, of course, she has that one rule, like you can't let the fire go out. Because once the fire goes out, that's when, the whole point of that, the whole thing was, once the fire goes out, that's how they get in. That's their entryway into the house. So, of course, freaking the father of the year, Howard, there falls asleep on watch, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and this movie just goes bonkers.
Good job, Howard.
God damn it, Howard. You suck. This movie, I love it in so many ways. I think the acting is great. The story is great, especially a story that has been told 100 times, 1,000 times through just word of mouth, throughout history, through books, through other movies that have been put out there. I think they did a great job with the story, and I love that everything is freaking practical, man. The only CG I think was the scene on the roof with Krampus as he's hopping between the houses and the gingerbread-men. Other than that, the certain shots of the gingerbread-men, there were shots of them that were practical. But boy, everything else is practical. It was great.
Yeah, it was good. I like the practical effects. I actually mentioned that. I mentioned that to her during the film about how much practical was actually in the movie, which I was worried about.
The Jack in the Box was really cool. It's literally like 4 people inside of those tubes that you would get as a kid, like that you could crawl through. It's one of those. They've got huge one, and they would have literally somebody in the head that would control the arms and stuff, and then you would have there was 2 women that would go in, and they would just like stick their hands out and just do like the different motions for it. It was so cool to watch. I watched all the behind the scenes of like how they were able to do all these characters, like the cherub, which is the devil angel. I didn't know that's what it was called until I watched the behind the scenes. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? It was a puppet.
Yeah.
That they had one that was on like literally strings that they would use when it was perched on top of the beam.
Yeah.
And then when it would lunge at them, they attached like a boom handle to it, and it would like fly down. They said that like Tony Collette had to do it like 40 times to get the scene right.
I wonder if it's like it was like a traditional marionette, like strings and stuff.
Yep,
very cool
to control like the different things. Like they had to control the wings opening and flapping, and oh man,
I like that.
I love it. Krampus was crazy because this dude, there was an actor in there, of course, who had to control it. His name is Luke Hawker, and he literally was only, I think he wasn't very tall. I don't know the exact height of him, but he was, within the 5, high 5s. And he would have to wear like 3 to 4 foot extensions on his legs, which had the hooves on the bottom. And he would go into the costume, and he couldn't, they had to put a screen inside the head of Krampus with, because there was a lens inside of Krampus's cheek, so he could see where he's going because he couldn't see through the mask.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh man, it was so cool watching like the woman who helped create him, like walking around with him as they're like trying to set up for shots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If listen, people, like digital's really cool, but try to get digital film. If you're gonna buy digital for films, try to get the ones that have the special features, because it's really cool to see how they make these movies. It really makes you appreciate movies more. Even if you didn't really like the movie too much, it really gives you more appreciation for how hard it is to make a movie. And I'll state that
Yeah, we ended up having to
It's crazy.
rent it.
I bought this movie when it first came out. So of course I bought the Blu-ray, which came with all the cool special features. But yeah, it's really cool to see all that hard work they got to put in to do all this.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
What's happening?
No, this
We're looking at your
Krampus Blu-ray.
I finally see the Blu-ray.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So we're probably flipped, so it looks like we're pointing the wrong direction.
Can you find it, ladies and gentlemen?
Right?
Blends in with your poster.
Poster.
Oh, the Batman one back there.
Yeah.
The teddy bear was really cool. The guy, so all of the effects were made by Weta Workshops, which did a lot of the effects for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's what a lot of people throw out there. But they've made effects for so many films throughout the years.
Yeah, that's why the quality of the effects is so good.
And they were very, very excited about Michael Dougherty. Michael Dougherty is so much passion in making this movie. He was there like every other day, making corrections, like trying to give cool pointers on, he was very involved in them making all of these characters. Which is really cool. He seemed like he was having a blast making this movie. And when I see that, when you watch like behind the scenes and you see like the director having that much passion in a movie, I think that's why the movie came out the way that it did. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about for behind the scenes before we get going on the plot?
Not really. I didn't really go too deep into the behind the scenes. I looked a little bit on it, but I didn't really honestly look too much into it. Nothing you haven't. Nothing you haven't covered. What?
So the guy that played Krampus actually works for Weta.
Yeah,
he's part of their team. I thought that was kind of cool.
Like, hey, dude, just go get in this. Go get in that. That seat right there. Do it. That's you.
And I also love. There was I've listened to or watched a lot of videos on Krampus, people's reviews of Krampus and all that. And a lot of people kind of they nitpick about Krampus's face. So when they do close-up shots on Krampus's face, his mouth never moves.
Yeah.
The reasoning, yes, exactly. We know, but we should explain it. The reason why Krampus's face does not move is because that is not Krampus's real face. It's actually a mask of a dead person that he puts on his face to kind of resemble Santa Claus. His whole spiel is he's a demon under there. He is these are all demons that are dressed in Christmas, to resemble Christmas, but they go after the bad kids. So he wears this face of a dead person to kind of put on that facade that he's not what, you don't get to see what's underneath, which is cool. You never see what's underneath his mask.
The closest you get is just when they get really close to his face, you see his eyes.
You see his
actual eyes.
Yeah, and it's like black.
Like a goat, like a goat's eye.
Yeah, because he's very cool. Goat-like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just want to because I literally listened to a review and somebody was nitpicking about that. They didn't like the design of him because his mouth. Why does his mouth never move? And it's like, what?
Clearly, they didn't pay attention.
No,
it's pretty obvious.
Exactly. But I thought we would clear it up for anyone who was confused.
That's fair.
Love this design though. Love it. I love he's wearing the very raggedy but the red coat. Like Santa would wear, but it's dirty and all that. Like I said, it's a shadow of Santa, which I thought was cool. It's a different interpretation of Krampus. Like we said, Krampus has been around for Santa's probably been around for, I don't know when the story of Santa Claus came about. Had to have been, 1400s or something like that, or maybe even earlier than that. Yeah. Krampus is something that's been around even longer than that. So it's just like, we talk about like ancient history, things are interpreted differently as they're passed down. That's what Krampus is. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yep.
And this was what Michael Dougherty's version of Krampus was. This isn't something that you would watch and go, this isn't accurate to the story I read that was written in 1777. No, it's not. All right. My spiel's over.
No,
Are we
you're
ready for the
good.
plot?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I do have one thing to say.
Okay. All right.
I like how this is dedicated to Dougherty's mom.
Very cool. Did she pass
I
away
think that she did.
right before the movie?
2012.
Oh, okay. I missed
think-
that.
I
So
think it says it at the end, and we're like, wait a minute. We looked it up, but yeah, I
Very
think
cool.
it's really cool. I like dedication films.
That's right.
Very nice. So Krampus, we get the very cool opening with the iced over Universal symbol and all that. And boy, listen, if I ever worked, like I worked for a big retail store, okay? You know, Angela works in retail. I have never, if I ever saw the things that were happening in this store, I'd quit. I'd be like, yep, this ain't worth my life. This shit is
absolutely not.
insane. People are punching each other. People are like taking other things from the shelves and just beating the shit out of other people. And
Getting tased.
yeah, like I love the security guard who's dragging two guys. And she's like this big burly woman. She's just like,
yeah, I like that. I like this is Christmas.
yes. And
they're serious about their tasing too. She's like,
yeah. These two guys are like, having a blast tasing these two guys. Yeah. This is wild. And, you know, it's a great opening because it's showing, you know, how slummy people are, like how what people will do to get those gifts, to get those things for Christmas when, you know, in the light of, that's not what Christmas is all about. And that's the whole moral of this story is just like, you know, the shitty people, you get the shitty things happen to you in a way.
Consumerism.
Yes. Oh man. But what a scene. What a scene. And it's called Muncho Mart. Muncho Mart. Dude.
Muncho Mart?
This place is fucking wild. They have a play going on in the back. What is happening here? What is this place?
All under one roof.
And they literally, you see this kid is on top of another kid and they're just wailing on each other. And you see Adam Scott and Toni Collette's character come out. And, you know, of course, you figure out one of them is their son and they pull them off each other. And you got this.
I feel like almost nobody's doing anything about it.
No, they're all recording it. They got people recording on their phones. Yeah, they don't give a shit. We then cut. What's the song that's playing during this scene? It's a Christmas song, isn't it?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yes.
I didn't remember.
It's perfect. And everything's in kind of like slow motion throughout this entire scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great opening. I remember seeing it for the first time. Like, yes, perfect. I need to see this on screen.
Like I feel they're a little heavy-handed with their message here, but it's great.
Yes,
carry on.
Yes, 100%. And then speaking of Black Friday, because I'm guessing that's when this takes place, right? This has to be Black Friday, but the crazy thing is like 3 days out of freaking Christmas. I'm very confused on what day this is.
I think they're just trying to pull it all as one thing.
Right.
Just
all I know, sidetrack, we gotta at some point down the road, we're gonna have to review Black Friday, which is a newer movie that just came out. Has Bruce Campbell, Devon Sawa.
I think I've heard of this one.
It's like a zombie. It's a zombie movie that takes place on Black Friday.
I think I think I know what we're talking about.
Oh, Bruce, I can't wait to talk about you in 2022 because we're definitely doing the Evil Dead films. So yeah, we then cut to the house, to the main character's house, and they're watching. There's a classic Christmas movie playing on the little fancy TV in the kitchen. Is it It's a Wonderful Life?
It's a Christmas Carol.
Oh, it's the original Christmas Carol. You're right. Oh, I had it. I've had it right here in my notes. It says Christmas Carol.
We're thinking of Gremlins.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Watching
I literally wrote Christmas Carol in my notes, and I just okay.
All right, man.
Grandma's making cookies. She's making cookies. Omi, she is German, and I'm guessing Omi means grandma in German. I don't know. I didn't look it up. And she only speaks German, at least for now. Max just wants the spirit of Christmas to stay, even though his family is losing their goddamn minds. You got family. You got family coming over. She's got her the mother, which her name is Beth. No, is it Beth? No, What's the mom's name?
Hell, I don't remember. You can ask me now.
Oh, it's yep.
It's a name, man. Probably should have the cast. Sarah. It's Sarah.
Sarah.
Sorry, peoples. Yeah, her sister's coming with her husband and cousins and all that, and no one's happy about it. No one is happy at all. Tom can't stand the husband. The daughter Beth, she can't stand any of them.
Oh yeah, it's a teenager, so it's pretty typical.
She just wants to go hang out with her boyfriend and get high. Hey, you know what? Good for her.
Why is that like the thing?
What, to go hang out with your boyfriend and get high?
Like, why is that like in like movies? Like, that's just what teenagers do. Like, right? Is it?
I like the kid. I like her boyfriend. I like her boyfriend's Christmas tree bong that he's got.
Yes.
His name is Derek. What a name, Derek.
What up, Derek?
Sorry to all the Derek's out there, but it's always the name of. It's always I feel like that's a name that is used a lot for those stoner kids. Derek.
Yeah. I agree.
Omi means grandma in German.
Okay, cool.
By the way.
I'm glad we figured that out. Tom's. At first I thought this was Tom's brother, but this is Tom's brother-in-law. And he's a dick because he's played by David Koechner, and he just plays a dick and everything. Listen, he's a dick in this movie, but if you've ever seen The Office, his character in The Office is a fucking asshole. Like, he's worse than that. He's this guy times 100, man. He's fucking awful. So he's great at playing an asshole.
I like how heavy this movie leans into stereotypes for certain people.
What do you mean? You got to explain things.
Like the fact the Republican gun-toting undereducated poor people, and then the liberal upper class, well-to-do, level-headed people. Stereotypes. And I'm not saying
you're telling me that they're stereotyping people in movies.
No way.
Fuck, man. I'm done.
I just love
Show
it,
canceled. Never talking about a movie
Hollywood
again.
Would never do that.
Fuck.
Never.
Stereotypes in movies. You're crazy.
At least the grandma wasn't screaming the praises of the Reich.
Well, we're done. Sorry, guys. Show's over.
You talking about stereotypes? Come on.
Oh God. All right, that's enough of that. His kids are awful. And Aunt Dorothy,
they're assholes.
They're 100%. Well, for one, and it sucks because you get the whole thing where at the dinner table, one of them, I think Stevie or what was the other one? Stevie and Jordan. They take Max's letter to Santa and they read it out loud. So fucking awful. And it sucks. Like both dads are just sitting there. The mom, the Linda, those girls' mom is not doing shit.
Right?
Like, no one does anything. And she's just reading off the thing of all the things he wants for Christmas. And it's mostly about his family. And I love, well, she doesn't read it, but the girl, I'm just going to say it was Stevie. She goes, Dad does not want us to be boys. And you're like, that sucks. Yeah. But the way that they kind of, are treated, that's kind of how it is. Like, he was given, two twin girls, and he, of course, probably wanted a boy. And so instead of getting the boy, he was treating his daughters like boys, getting him into sports and stuff like that, which girls play sports without having to be pushed, like these girls are. And then you have Howie Jr., who I don't even think has a brain in that head, dude. Like, this kid what the fuck, dude?
Does he even have a spoken line of dialogue?
No, I don't think he can talk. There's something wrong with this kid. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't know what's wrong with him. I feel because they don't mention anything about it. I think they just all play it off like he's just a fucking idiot. But yeah, these kids suck. All these kids suck. Yep. The only one who doesn't suck is the baby because the baby can't do anything.
The baby's awesome, dude.
Yes, the baby's great.
The mom's not horrible, whatever her name is.
Linda?
And,
no, she's just I stated before. Yeah, like I was saying before, I feel she's in a situation where she can't just leave. Like, I feel like she feels like she can't leave. She has 4 kids, and as much as she probably in her head wants to leave her husband because he's kind of a piece of shit, she can't. She's trying her best, and I appreciate Linda. And then we got Aunt Dorothy, played by Chada Farrell. I probably butchered her name. She's that typical like aunt character. You know, if you watch like Christmas Vacation, or any of those type of movies where you have that like piece of shit relative, like who's just so critical of everything. I love when she walks into the freaking dining room. She's like, "Oh, it looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here."
Yeah.
Well, it's also what was the she wasn't originally supposed to be there.
Right.
So Sarah was surprised that the Aunt Dorothy was there, and
Linda went to go drop off gifts at her house, and she went to the door and she had a suitcase. So she kind of was like, I couldn't tell her no. Yeah. So she surprise. Which, and to be honest, I didn't hate Aunt Dorothy in this. I think she was just that she's just a grumpy, I don't give a fuck type of person, which I know those people. They're they don't have a filter. They don't hide anything. If they have something on their mind, it comes out of their mouth.
Yep.
Gonna go show the kids
how to make peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, peppermint schnapps. Like, yep. She's that one.
Yeah, I didn't hate her. I didn't hate her. I wasn't like, fuck this character. The one I didn't like was Howard. But then as shit's going on in this movie, I was like, okay, at least he's not being a piece of shit the whole time. He turns into a very protective guy who does care about his family. He gets a better relationship with Tom because him and Tom don't like each other because he's always giving him shit. You know, especially when they're sitting at the dinner table and they're talking about, it's like, you did a service. What were you in, the Army, the Navy, the Marines? He's like, oh no, I was in the Eagle Scouts. Ooh, fucking Eagle Scout, like just giving him shit for stupid stuff.
Just to be a piece of shit.
It's later on, he's like, always be prepared, Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And then he freaking mends his leg later and like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he's like that because Tom and Sarah are very successful. They have a nice house. They have all these things where they're not. So he's passive aggressive. And I feel that's why he's like that.
I think he's just aggressive. I don't think there's anything passive about it.
He's just a douche. He's just a douche.
He's just that alpha male redneck kind of mentality about things, unfortunately. So
Max has a letter to Santa that he wrote up, and he gets it read out loud at the dinner table because it's taken by one of the twins. And it's just all the things. It's not toys or anything. It's literally, you know, he wants his parents to be in love with each other like they used to be. Yeah. He wants better things to happen for Howard and Linda. Like they just, you know, he wants them to have a better life. Like none of these things are bad.
No.
Except for the fact that he, you know, he's like clearly he states something about how Howard treats the girls like boys. He wanted sons instead of daughters, which is kind of a fucked up thing to put. And then, of course, he puts that he wants to be closer with his sister like he used to be. But, of course, she's a teenager. She's kind of, you know, she's levitating towards it's very typical things for a kid to want at his age. And
how old is he?
He's probably like 13, 14.
Yeah, see, we thought somewhere between like 12-ish, 13, something like that.
Because I said he looked a lot older than I think he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then Dan's like, no, I think he's supposed to be older. I think that's why he gets made fun of for writing a letter to Santa.
So here's the thing, is he even states before, like, does he fully believe in Santa? Because when they're talking, like when they come home from the incident at the play, you know, the parents are like, you still don't believe in Santa. And he's just like, yeah, but I don't want it to ruin for the little kids. So does he secretly still believe and he's just trying to play it off like he doesn't?
That's what I thought, but you could be.
Yeah, it's hard to read, but of course this whole thing, you know, everything that happens in this movie is because of him getting angry and tearing up his letter to Santa and throwing it out the window. That's what triggers the arrival of Krampus and his goons.
But all hope is lost.
Yeah. The thing of it is this family is not as bad as you would expect. And for everything that happens to him in this film, it sucks, but it's one of those things where, like, as everything is happening, the family is growing closer together. Like, it's
Yes.
not everybody for themselves. It's not like Howard just worrying about his family. He's caring about everybody else, which I thought was a cool way of going about it. Even
Can I
though
say I did not? Oh, go ahead.
no, go. I don't know what I was going to say.
I want to say I'm not the biggest fan of how the beginning of this movie plays out. That's my biggest gripe with this entire movie.
Which is like how everybody interacts with each other.
It's just the whole like outside like the beginning opening credit, which was awesome, the whole mall scene or whatever, the store scene. It's just that whole beginning part is just so overplayed and stereotypical. And I know that's probably the point.
Yeah.
But just the two big opposites of the family, somebody doing something, this big hullabaloo, big uncomfortable situation, and it's just like that's the whole like I think of like Home Alone and shit like that. Same stuff happens. It seems like a trope that's just being played out again. I just don't care for that.
They even forgot a kid.
They forgot a kid.
Yeah. Damn.
But that's I'm not saying it's bad. I don't care how it's played out in the beginning of this movie. I don't hate it, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it.
I can agree. I can be on the same page that it's just a little bit overdone. Like the way that Howard treats everybody, especially Tom, it's like, fuck off. I'd kick his ass out of the house. Be like, fuck you, like, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out of my house. Exactly. Come in here and start talking to me like that. Like it wasn't like he was swearing at him or, doing, but it's just those stupid fucking comments, man. Be like, dude, I will punch you right in your mouth.
And then the same, right? But even the same with Tom when he's sitting there talking to Max in his room. I know he's trying to be nice and stuff. He's around his kid and stuff. And like, you be the better man. But I think as the owner of your home, you take a stand. Like, listen, you're in my house. We're family, but you need to respect the rules of my home. If you don't respect me in my house, you can get the fuck out. Like, you can hit the bricks.
I feel like it's a very common trope in these type of movies. If you watch like Christmas Vacation, it's like all these people come over to their house and fucking wreck home. And
well, see, that's what I mentioned earlier about how people being played stereotypes. And I don't think this movie really leans too heavily towards one or the other. But that's why, because it kind of hits on one side, but then it also kind of shits on the other people, like the owners of the home being way too fucking passive about everything and being too buried in their own shit going on and not worried about their kids and all that stuff. So I
don't think that was written. I think it was written on purpose. I think it was written because I think that's how most people see it. Which is not true, but that's what most people see. And that's what was written into the movie. I don't think Michael Dougherty thinks that,
no, I'm not saying
side is like that and one side is like the other. Yeah, no. But there are directors or there are people who write movies though who think of these things, who are that's their ideals and will write that into a script. And it's like, that's not how this fucking works, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm just saying. Like it's like I'm not saying like it's one of those. Sometimes they'll represent things in films where it's just like, this is our side, wonderful. This is the other side. They suck ass, and we're just gonna shit on the whole movie.
Yep.
Where I feel both sides have pros and cons.
So Max gets his letter read out loud, and he gets into a fight with the girls, and that's when the mom comes and says, who wants tiramisu? And you're like, what? This is Christmas. What is going on? What are you doing? I don't even know what that is. Is that cheese? Is that like a cheese bowl? What is tiramisu?
It's a dessert.
Oh, wait, no. Was that what she was making, though? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't tiramisu. I know what tiramisu is. What the fuck was she making? It was like she was using a freaking one of those cool lighter.
Oh, she was making creme brulee.
Creme brulee. That's cheese, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a cream.
Or is it like a egg-based thing?
Yes. It's like a custardy type thing, but it's got sugar on top, and you burn the sugar. Like
Custard's Last Stand?
And
let's bring more offensive fucking people into this show.
I'm trying.
Jesus Christ.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know what there was in it, so
I didn't either.
It's supposed to be like a crispy top, and you break the top, and
I've
never had it.
This is like French onion soup. Because don't you break the top of that too? Isn't that it's like the cheese on top and you break through it?
Oh yeah.
You're making me hungry.
I'm starving right now. I need to shove some more fucking cookies into my mouth. All I've gained like
gingerbread.
I have one more week left until I go back to work, and I think I've gained like 20 pounds since I've been off. This is not good.
I'm so sorry.
It's all these it's all these baking. I blame my wife. She bakes all these great things, and I can't let them go to waste. So Max doesn't understand why he needs to spend time with all these piece of shit family members.
I know, right?
And his dad, of course, has to explain to him, you know, like, yeah, I know it's tough, but you know, they're still family, and you know, it's nice to spend time with family. And at first, you think Max changes his mind about the whole thing, and he's like, you know, you should really send that letter out to Santa. He's like, maybe I will. And he goes to put the letter back into the envelope, and he licks the envelope, which, oh god, is always the worst. I fucking hate licking envelopes. Fucking terrible. Just give me the ones with the peel off things.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Why in 2021 are we still licking envelopes? Fuck.
That was 2015.
Still. Why do we still licking envelopes?
And listen, Tom, Max's dad, completely full of shit.
Yeah.
Because there's people in my family I don't like and I don't spend time with.
Same.
Carry on.
I don't have many, but there's some.
It's your life, man. You live it the way you want to. You get one shot, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the conversation that I do like the story that the kids tell Max at the table though about Santa crashing.
Oh,
like eating,
and he had to eat the reindeer. Oh,
yeah.
what a shitty
Santa.
Story.
Dawn or 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 9.
Oh gosh, tiny reindeer.
So, yeah, Max, you think Max is going to seal up that envelope and send it to Santa, but instead he gets angry, and he tears up the letter, opens up his window, and just throws it out. And you get the immediate reaction to this as everything becomes dark, and you get the cloud from fucking Child's Play that goes over the toy store before Chucky becomes a doll. It's fucking the cloud of Dembala coming over. And a massive blizzard arrives. And Max spots a really creepy fucking snowman the next morning.
Not our snowman in the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really creepy ass snowman too.
Who built it?
We get a DHL delivery driver comes to the door to deliver some packages, and there's a big giant sack of presents that are near there next to it. And Linda's like, "Oh, is that from you too?" And he's like, "Oh, I was here before I got here. I don't know who that's from." So they're like, "Let's bring it in the house and throw it in the attic for one." Like, damn, you hiked that fucking thing all the way to the attic?
Yeah.
Damn, that did not seem like a light bag.
No.
Beth's all concerned about her boyfriend because he hasn't responded to her text messages and all that. So she asks if she can go to his house.
We mentioned there's a blizzard happening at this point.
Yes, there's a blizzard. Yeah. The cloud formed over and then a massive blizzard hit. And it's like no one's out. No one's out. Nothing's happening.
No, I guess they're like, because nobody has power, right? And they're like, oh, what about these people? What about these people? Like, oh, they don't talk to us since Max's noodle incident. Incident?
Yeah. And they never mention anything about it. They never,
it's great. I love it.
They never explain what that shit is. They say that line and then they move on.
I'm just assuming it was flopping dong running down the streets, what I assume. That sounds like a nice way of a parent to refer to that noodle incident. Carry on.
So Beth asks if she can go check on her boyfriend. He only lives a couple blocks away. So, of course, Sarah's like, no, it's a bad idea. But Tom's like, come on, it's right down the street. It can't be that bad.
You're like, Tom, you're an idiot. It's a fucking blizzard.
Yeah. It's literally like a fucking, you can't see 6 inches from your face blizzard, even though you can clearly see things in the distance, as we shall see. This doesn't seem like a fun walk for Beth. Actually, before we do that, Omi makes some old-fashioned hot chocolate on the fire, which is fucking awesome. I want a cup of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I want a fucking hot chocolate made by a old German woman. Now, German chocolate is delicious.
Okay, I'll go get my friend. She's probably asleep.
Your friend?
Who?
I have a German friend.
You have a German friend who makes chocolate?
Yes. I don't know if she makes chocolate, but I'm probably ask her to. She has two German shepherds, and they only come when you speak to them in German. It's
that's
really
so cool. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna learn a language, probably German. I really want to learn German. It's a really cool language.
Dope, dude.
And yeah, I want to get a pet where it only listens to my commands in German. I want to do that. I wish I knew a different language so I could teach my my newest son a different language so I could just talk to him in a different language so my wife doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best feeling when people like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, well.
Hey, listen, I could teach you how to count to 100 in German. That's about it. That's all I remember.
I had a friend who spent like 2 or 3 years as an exchange student in Germany.
Really?
And this is off track, but I played lacrosse in high school and he was on my team. And during our warm-ups, he would lead the warm-ups and he would literally just scream German phrases during our warm-ups. And you could just literally look over at the other team and they're all fucking like they look terrified because the German language is a very aggressive language. Like you could be saying I love you, but it sounds like they want to kill you. But he would literally, like, we would, you do like the 1, 2, 3, and he would say it all in German, but he'd be really loud about it and just say a bunch of German phrases during the game it was fucking great.
Psychological warfare, dude. That's brilliant.
It's so good. And one of my bucket list things on my bucket list is to go to Oktoberfest at some point in my life, and it's gonna happen. So back to Krampus. It is. Oh, and I just want to state that this is December 23rd when this blizzard hits, because it's every time the day changes, it shows Max's very old, I'm guessing German advent calendar.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that.
It's really cool. This doesn't seem like a very fun walk for Beth as she's walking to her boyfriend's house. It's, of course, a blizzard is happening.
No.
You get she's hearing very eerie sounds, and then she looks, discovers the DHL truck, and she goes over, and the dude's frozen inside the truck. Oh. Yeah. And then one of my favorite fucking parts of this movie is when we first see Krampus, and he is perched on the roof, and she just looks over, and of course he doesn't move until she starts running. And then he just starts leaping from house to house. And you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. Oh, so good.
Sample of Krampus, yeah.
And she then hides underneath a truck. And that's when he hops from the house and lands right next to the truck. And he's walking around it. And then he disappears. And then she looks over and there's a little Jack in the Box that's ringing. And when the Jack in the Box opens, a little tiny head starts peeking out, and then she screams, and then it's just the truck. You just see the truck shaking back and forth. So you don't get to see anything, which I thought was a cool touch. I don't think we needed to see anything.
Yep.
And this blizzard is causing confusion for the entire family as they're back at the house, as there are no trucks and there's no people anywhere. There's nobody. Yep. Just
no lights, nothing.
Yeah. So Tom and his dick brother-in-law, they go out in search of Beth because she's not home, and they're scared because it's a fucking blizzard out.
Well, there's been a chunk of time that had elapsed, right? Because it was daylight when she left.
Yeah, and it's starting to get, and it's dark. That's why they start getting concerned.
Yeah.
It's dark outside. They're concerned. So Tom and Howard go out and search for her. Because Howard's got this big Hummer or something like that. I forgot I think it was a Hummer. So they're gonna go out and search Beth. They find an abandoned snowplow that's still on. The lights are flashing, so that's what kind of alerts them to it. The truck driver was nabbed clear out of the windshield. I love how it shows. It's like, oh man, something, or he flew out of the windshield, and he's like, no, something got him from the outside because the glass was caved in.
Yeah.
And that's when so they go back to Howard's truck, and he's got an arsenal in a crazy compartment in the back of his Hummer.
What was the name of his truck?
Lucinda.
Because he screams it.
Yeah, because he's got that shot. He's got a pump shotty and a revolver.
Yeah. He's like, you bring guns to Christmas? You could never be too prepared.
That's right.
Back at the house, the mom and Sarah and Linda, they're talking about the old times. And that's when you start hearing some faint footsteps happening up in the attic. Like, what is that? And then a loud bang. And so everybody's on alert now. And then we go back to Tom and Howard out in the blizzard. And they get to Derek's house, and it is, let's just say it's a little snowy inside. It shouldn't be like that. The door's wide open. There's probably a good 6 inches of snow inside. The fireplace is destroyed. Like there's the big crack down the center of the fireplace. Yeah. And then it's like all crumbly. And then they discover the hoof print. Like, what is that? We don't have animals like that around here. It's too big to be a deer. That's when, and then Howard goes into the kitchen and sees the gingerbread man knifed to the refrigerator.
I was half expecting him to pull the knife out.
Yeah.
And then come to life or whatever.
Beth is heard screaming outside, so they run outside, and you figure out that is it really Beth screaming, or is it kind of a manipulated scream to kind of lure them outside? And Howard is grabbed by something and dragged through the snow. Here's my question, because it's never really explained. Is this the Jack-in-the-Box that is the thing that's under the snow?
I don't know. Could be the teddy bear.
Because
it bites onto him.
That's true. Because it kind of looks it's very like Tremors like, where it seems like it's a long snake like creature that runs out. Because you notice it like when the Jack-in-the-Box has got teeth, like it opens up its fucking jowls. But you really never see what bites onto Howard, but something bites onto him. It's pretty gnarly too. And Tom shoots whatever it was, and it kind of runs away. Now, the only reason I think it's the Jack-in-the-Box is it sounds like the same sound that the Jack-in-the-Box makes. It makes that really scary fucking scream. It's a horrible noise. So Tom and Howard, they go home, and the house erupts in fear and questions. Of course, the kids are blurred into the kitchen, into the dining room with Aunt Dorothy to make some peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, all right.
And Howard, Tom, Linda, and Sarah, they're all talking about like what the hell is going on. And they explain everything that they saw, but they don't really know. And they're trying to figure out what to do. So they end up boarding up the doors and the windows. And Howard is tasked with being the first watch, because Tom initially says he's going to do it, and Howard's like, nah, I'll do it. And then what's that motherfucker do? He falls asleep.
Yep.
But you do get a nice conversation between Tom and Howard. They kind of, Howard thanks him for saving his life, and they kind of, like other kind of, they're kind of bonding. And Howard goes, what does he say? He says something about like, oh, well, you're not as much of like a was it a pussy piece of shit or something like that, or a preppy little something?
I can't remember. Yeah, something like that.
Like, it's a very condescending insult, but Howard trying to bond with Tom. That's pretty funny.
Right.
And of course, Omi has the fire lit, and she says you can't let the fire go out. And what happens is Howard falls asleep and the fire goes out. And that's when everything starts to happen. So the first thing that occurs is you get a chain. You can hear the chain inside the chimney, and it slowly comes down, and what's attached to it but a very thick gingerbread man.
Yes.
And who is the one to be lured in by this thick-ass gingerbread man but the fucking Howie Jr., a very throwaway character.
Absolutely.
And he grabs
somewhere.
Yep, he grabs onto that gingerbread man. He's about to go to town on it. And that's when the gingerbread comes to life, wraps the chain around Howie, and that's when whoever's on the other side starts dragging the chain up the chimney.
Yep.
And Sarah comes, and she's the first one to grab him, and then everybody else is coming and grabbing onto him too. And it's a pretty good scene where he's screaming going up the chimney, and she's holding on for dear life. And I think there was still a little bit of the fire still there. Like there was like the embers were still glowing, so it was still hot. And she kicks one of the logs into the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree goes up in flames along with the presents underneath. And of course, Howie Jr. is not able to be saved, as Howard goes into the chimney and you just see the shoe just fall down and hit him in the face.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Howard turns he wants to save his son. So he's like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to confront whatever this thing is. I'm going to get my son back. And he's like, Tom's like, listen, there's other people here. Like, I understand your situation, but like, we gotta be concerned about everybody else here. Like, you're going to go out there by yourself and potentially die, where you don't even know what to do and you're hurt.
Yeah.
So he convinces him to stay inside.
It's after they open the door and see the snowman outside.
Yes.
That looks
it's like
Howie.
almost, yeah, and it's almost like right there too. It's like not too far from the door.
You see some of the people running around.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of snowmen. It's
Yeah.
not just one.
You got
But you see people running behind the snowmen too.
Yep. And this is when Omi tells the story of Krampus. Now, she is the only one who actually says Krampus by name in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
No one else says it. And I love this whole scene. I love the animation. I like how it's a mixture of like, it kind of feels like claymation in a way, but you also get like the paper animation where it's like paper and shadows.
Yeah, which we talked about. All of our movies this season have had stop motion in them of some kind.
Yeah.
However, my only caveat is while she does look stop motion, I can guarantee you that CG because the movement is
it's digital. It's probably digital.
It's 100% digital. It's too fluid. There's no way.
So she
tells it's made to be that way.
Yeah. It's really good though. I love this whole scene is great. She tells about the story of Krampus and how she dealt with him before. She, grew up in a time with tension. She probably grew up back during World War II where things were not so great.
Probably post-war.
Yep.
More what it was.
And her parents weren't, very nice to each other. And she just wanted her parents to go away. It was kind of her wish. So instead of just wishing for something and it never happens, because that's usually how they go. No, Krampus shows up and fucking murks the parents. And you see the shadow. It's always a shadow. You never actually see them. But everything becomes dark. You see the cloud form over the small village, and Krampus and his goons show up and take the parents. And she says and this is the first time she speaks English too. And she's the one who summoned Krampus. And I love the scene where Krampus walks by her bedroom and winks at her. And then walks out and leaves her a bell with his name, which is Groot van Krampus, which is just his name. And it's pretty much a warning. It's like, this is or a reminder to have faith. Yes. That is the whole thing. Because to be honest, does Krampus really want to do this? Yeah, probably. He has a good time.
Yeah, he seems to enjoy what
he enjoys what he does. So of course after she tells the story, Howard is like, fuck this. I gotta believe this bullshit story. Your son literally just got dragged out of your house with a chain with a fucking gingerbread man attached to it. Maybe have some belief, okay?
Exactly.
You fucking idiot. And so she tells the story, and then he tries to go outside and he sees the snowmen, and then the elves are running behind the snowmen in the distance.
Yep.
Then it cuts to the advent calendar as it is now Christmas Eve. Omi pretty much tells the kids they're fucked. I love how she's speaking in German, and they're like, what's she saying? What's she saying? And then that's when Aunt Dorothy's is like, she's pretty much saying we're fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it turns to Omi, and she's like, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. Tom asked Sarah if she knew what she saw in the chimney, because she does see the gingerbread man that came to life. That's why she reacts. Linda finds a box that rattles. She's in the attic. She's looking over all the damaged presents and all that, and then she hears like an old fashioned bell, inside of a box. But before she can really investigate it, Sarah comes upstairs she comes to her and Howard about using the plow truck to get the hell out of there. Like they're coming up with a plan of, we're going to go to that plow truck. We're going to get the plow truck. We'll get the fuck out of Dodge. They're like, good plan. Another great shot of Krampus as Max looks out the window and he sees Krampus on a roof across the street. It's always that nice shadow. You never really see any details of Krampus. It's always shadows. Or you see his feet. Like when Beth sees him. And then we get Stevie and the other one. Jordan. God. Stevie was the only one I remember because she survives. Right? Mm-hmm. Stevie was the one who doesn't. Well, she survives till the end. But the funny thing is so they're upstairs and I don't know if they're trying to look for like what they're doing. I think they're trying to go to the bathroom or something like that. Because they talk about it. Yeah. Aunt Dorothy clogged one of the shitters is what they say.
Yeah.
Well, she did mention earlier in the movie, all this fancy stuff, all this fancy food does something to me.
Yeah.
Blows me out or something like that.
Yep.
Along those lines.
So they, they're up in the second floor and they're going around and they start hearing a voice and it's this really creepy voice. Doesn't sound like Beth at all, but they think it's Beth. And they're like, Beth, what are you doing up there? Everybody's been looking for you. Like, are you fucking serious? Do you think Beth's just hiding in the attic?
I know,
the
right?
whole time? There's no power. This chick needs her computer, man. Like, she would have been downstairs like, Mom, Dad, what happened to the power? No, she's hiding in the attic. Kids, go upstairs and check it out. Holy Christ. The downstairs, everybody else hears the giggling and chatter upstairs. Pans are crashing in the kitchen. And the dog Rosie wants nothing to do with it. She's
Rosie's smart one.
She's like, fuck off, I'm out of here. So she runs away. Tom, Linda, and Sarah check the attic, and the gifts have all been busted open. And you're like, oh my God. The first thing they see is the Jack in the Box, and there's something massive attached to it. So they go around the corner, and what do they see? Is the fucking legs, like the bottom half of the legs and the fucking boots of one of the twins just getting swallowed by this freaking horrific Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shot. I love it.
The lighting is great.
So good. And the scream it makes.
Yes. You can kind of see how his jaw like slowly goes back under.
Yeah.
Like the mask of the toy, but obviously it's so cool.
Oh my God. It's one of my favorite parts. It's Howard gets attacked. Howard goes into the kitchen to investigate what the hell's going on in there, and he gets attacked by a bunch of gingerbread men. We get the demon cherub, which is hanging in the rafters and it attacks Sarah. That's another creepy ass freaking thing that happens. You're like, what the fuck, man? And then you get the teddy bear with the really sharp teeth that comes out of nowhere. And then you get the freaking the rope. The thing that was really out of place was the robot. It just didn't seem right.
It was odd.
It was weird.
Odd. Well, I think that was all part of Krampus's. I don't think that's what they bought for people.
No,
but it was just like the gifts were because the bag got in the house.
Yeah, he's setting it up for what's going to happen.
Like, here you go.
Yeah, he takes everything. He takes everything that you love, and he makes them terrifying. That's the whole point of Krampus.
Yeah. Good times. He's good times.
Oh, sorry. The gingerbread-men two of them were voiced by Seth Green and Justin Roiland.
Yeah, from Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something else here I want to mention. Pull it back if you don't care to. The gingerbread cookie in the scene right when Howie Jr.'s taken.
That to you.
Did you? Okay, well, I want to mention it again. So the gingerbread cookie that was lowered down the chimney is attached to a meat hook, there's an Icelandic word for it. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce because it's going to be awful. Is one of Iceland's 13 Yule lads. So gingerbread cookie, sort of Iceland's 13 Yule lads, who carries a meat hook, which he lowers down chimneys in order to steal meat smoked in the fire for Christmas. And he comes around every December 23rd, and that's the night that Howie Jr. was taken up the chimney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of ironic. I didn't know nothing about that. He's going deep for his Yule lore.
Wow.
Taking a bite out of the gingerbread man. None of
I
this.
like how the
is
gingerbread man also screams
Yeah.
after he bites him. But anyway, I know we're going
No,
too far back.
it was great. He bites it and then it like reacts to it like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Tell him what the bell means if he didn't know that.
The Gruß vom Krampus means greetings from Krampus.
Okay. Makes sense.
Good times. Krampus time. Woo!
Krampus.
Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, so you get the teddy bear and the robot. The robot literally hops on Tom's back, just starts stabbing him.
Oh yeah.
It's great. It's all practical too.
Oh yeah, this looks
I
fantastic.
love the gingerbread man and the staple gun.
The best is when they all get back together and they're all like, Wonder is like, what the fuck happened up there? You don't want to know. And he's like, I just got attacked by 3 gingerbread men in the kitchen. Like, I can handle it.
Yeah, and then right.
The
gingerbread man.
And Rosie eats him.
right? Yes, I love it where he's about to get shot in the gingerbread. Oh no, he's got the sharpened candy cane that he's gonna stab him, but then Rosie comes out of nowhere and eats it, which is great. Good for Rosie. Rosie's real name is Thor.
Yes.
Yep.
And I believe
Rosie
she's
is the
been in
best
other
part.
movies.
The best part of this movie.
Poor Rosie eating all them cookies. You can get fat, Rosie.
The Jack in the Box escapes. Jack Box literally eats Jordan and is like, fuck this. I want no part of these people. And just is like, does a creepy scream and then tries to like escape. And I love how it's like, it's frantically trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of here. And he's like, it's like trying to rip off the thing. Oh man. And Linda's about to do some damage and then too late, just squeezes its fat ass through there.
Yeah.
Thing was huge.
Oh god.
Let's see. Where am I? Angel and the bear get taken. Or wait, Jack in the Box escapes. Rosie goes on attack mode and forces the creatures downstairs. She goes through the vent and forces the things to crash through the goddamn floor. And and I love everybody's reaction to it because like some of the people saw it and others didn't, and it's just there and it's just screaming that terrifying scream. Dorothy blasts the angel or the cherub and the teddy bear, which is great. And then we get you hear the chiming happening outside, and I think Omi's was like elves.
Yeah.
And they come in and they're like a rescue mission for the Jack in the Box, because they like strap the chain around the Jack in the Box, like we're gonna get you out of here, buddy.
They break through the window and shit
because they snag Aunt Dorothy. I love when they just fucking yeet her right out the door, like
see you guys in hell.
Yeah, and of course they take the baby too, which causes Linda to freak out, and Krampus calls out and summons them back. And that's when we get our first full-fledged appearance of Krampus. As the family leaves, Omi decides she's going to stay back because she needs to confront Krampus.
Howard jumps on the clown as it gets pulled out of
he tries to save his daughter.
Yep.
I think once go ahead, sorry.
No, he grabs onto the tail part of it and gets like pulled out.
Yeah, because once the Krampus shows up, like everybody's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, no, because he summons them back, I'm guessing. Because you hear a call outside, and I'm guessing it was him calling them back.
Yeah, so he can...
Because he's going to make his appearance. And before that, of course, they're all like, okay, we're going to get out of here. We need to get the fuck out of here. So they open the door, they all go out, and Omi shuts the door behind them because she's going to stay back and confront Krampus because she hasn't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And his entrance is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hands and stuff coming down the fireplace.
Well, at first you can hear him like walking on the roof.
Yeah.
And you can hear the chains and the bells rattling. And then you just see the chimney. You see like the dust first, and then you see the chimney start to split because he's so big as he's coming down.
Isn't this when the radio turns back on?
Oh, the music starts
playing.
playing.
It starts playing, yeah. And yeah, you get he's got the long fingers. He pulls himself out. Yeah. So good. And this is where you get your full look at what he looks like as he comes out full form. He's huge. And he's got the very raggedy red overcoat. He's got the beard in the face. But what you don't know is it's not his face.
Yep.
Again, we got to say this. And he's got the big giant freaking hooves, and he reaches out to her, and it's just a really cool scene because she's like stone faced there. She's just staring at him as he's making his appearance and just towering over her. And you get the really close look at his eyes.
Yep.
Oh man, so
you
cool.
You see one of his bells.
Yes, you see the Krampus the Krampus bell on one of the chains.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing she just gets dead. She died.
She gets dead.
The toy, he opens up the bag. He opens up the sack.
Yeah, and everything, and there was things in it alive that come and attack her.
Yeah.
Krampus never kills anyone in this movie.
Everybody else does the
work.
work.
That's not true.
His minions.
Yeah. Tom holds.
But that Santa doesn't either. Elves and shit do everything. He just shows up, delivers presents.
He just takes all the credit.
Yeah, he does. He does. Tom holds off the minions so the rest of the family can escape. The family gets picked off one by whatever the hell is the thing in the snow. It has to be the Jack-in-the-Box. I feel like it has to be, or it's just a whole other creature that they never talk about. The only reason I think it is because it is a very snake-like creature, and the scream it makes. The scream it makes outside, it sounds very reminiscent to the scream that the Jack-in-the-Box makes when it's in the attic. So I'm guessing it's the Jack-in-the-Box. The elves attack the only remaining two, which is Stevie and Max. Stevie,
what about the mom?
The mom gets yeeted down into the snow too. Everybody does.
The mom and
Linda.
Both moms did.
Yeah, Linda's first. Well, technically Tom was first.
Well,
and then
Tom,
Linda.
Listen, fucking Tom.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah, no. Listen, I got something else to about Tom and his unlimited ammo cheat, where he fires off like 15 rounds out of that shotgun without missing a beat. Like, it's gonna hold 5 to 8 tops in that tube. Like, I've got to point this shit out, but I'm like, dude. Wait. Anyway.
So what about Rambo? When Rambo shoots like 1,500 rounds of fucking.
And when we talk about Rambo, I'll bet you about that too. But I pay attention to that. Like, anytime a revolver or something comes in, I'm counting shots on screen.
Oh man.
The aunt.
Yeah, she shot a couple too.
Yeah.
She had already shot 2 shots.
And I do like how the toys, by the way, or whatever these things are, these creatures, apparently are killable to some extent.
Yeah, because they kill the cherub and the teddy bear.
Yeah, because they're not immortal. So I'm
guessing though that Krampus has some sort of magic to bring them back, because at the end they come back.
Yeah. And I figured that, or he's just got a lot of backup.
But it's
got some spares.
Yeah.
Got extra.
So Tom dies first, or dies. I don't know how this all works.
I was so confused.
Tom is taken, and then it's Linda, and then of course you get the scene where Max and Stevie. Jesus Christ. I keep forgetting these freaking kids' names. Stevie and Max are in the truck, and the mom is just sitting outside. And she's just like, go. And then she gets sucked into the snow.
Like instantly.
Yeah, just
Tremors?
Bye. Yeah. Very Tremors-like. And then Stevie gets taken by the elves. And Max, of course, is the final, because he's the one who made the wish. He's
the final girl.
Yeah. He's the final person.
Yeah.
And of course he is spared, as Krampus always does. He always has to leave. He always leaves one person, and he gives remember me, motherfucker. Yeah, remember me. Always have faith. It just shows what happens if you don't have faith. And he gives Max the bell, the Gruß von Krampus bell, and Max is like, I could just accept this bell and move on, or fuck this, I want my family. And he finds where Krampus and his minions are chilling, and they're having a fucking rave. Like they got
party time.
They're having a party.
They are legit having a fucking party.
They got the what's the Rams called? The goats that pull a sleigh. There's a name for them.
Oh, they're so cool.
Oh,
They're so cool, man.
This is the most metal Christmas ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's in the
Was it Yule goats? No, that's different.
That doesn't sound cool enough.
No. It's got to be way more metal.
No, because they're
Krampus deer.
That's right. Dear clown.
I love how the gingerbread-men are lumpy, dumpy, and clumpy.
Right.
And their clown is the
clown.
Jack.
Is the Jack in the Box, yeah. Which is funny because they say Jack in the Box
Yule
in the behind the scenes.
Goat.
It's a Yule goat. They say Jack in the Box in the behind the scenes, but when they show the name of the actor who played that character, it says Der Clown. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. I get it.
I love all the names. The names
So
they
cool.
gave, like they went with the whole like Icelandic German names for everything in the credits.
Yeah.
Well, even
So fucking cool.
here, I can't.
Listen, dude, I've played a lot of Vigor and I don't understand any of that. Yeah, go ahead.
So he finds a sacrificial ceremony taking place with Krampus and his goons and his Yule goats. Those things are fucking cool.
Set that shit up in your front yard every Christmas.
Dude, you can buy like an 8-foot tall Krampus from this movie and put it in your yard. It's like animatronic too.
I need it.
Please.
Eat it.
Please. I want the goats and we'll just blare just metal Christmas music the whole time.
Man,
Nobody
the things
will
I'd love to do at my house for Halloween or Christmas, and my wife just won't let me do it.
Why?
Because I have children. They get scared.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. They already seen the movie.
Yeah, right. So Max recedes his wish, and he throws I like how he throws the bell into the snow, and the snow eats the bell. So it's Krampus taking it back. And a fiery pit opens, and Stevie is just immediately thrown in. And Max goes up and goes face to face with Krampus once again, and he says, I just want my family back. I just want things to be the same as they always were. And you get the one tear, and you think, is Krampus going to, bend and grant this wish to this sweet young boy who just watched his entire family get fucking murked? Fuck that. He laughs his really creepy ass laugh, picks Max up with one hand and just says, bye, and just throws him into the hole. And we get the really bad, I hate these type of scenes where it shows him falling and it's like slow mo, like,
and he falls forever.
I can't. I hate those. Screen. Those are the worst.
I had said before he picks Max up, I'm like, it'd be funny if he just took him and threw him over his shoulder and been like,
that would be like, ha.
Yeah, or just
like,
eats.
There's nothing to it.
We get a fucking a beheading. Yeah. He just eats the head. Just like, what the fuck?
Here's our hard PG-13 rating.
Yeah. They actually just released. I think Scream Factory just released a 4K version of this movie. It's called the Non-Cut. It's like $37. I'm like, fuck, I have this movie already. So after that happens, we get to a nice bright scene where you're like, oh shit, was all this a dream?
She was mad.
Was this real?
What the fuck?
It's like, is this a dream? And I was like, I fucking knew it.
So Max wakes up, he's all happy, he goes downstairs, he opens up the final day, the Christmas day on the advent calendar. The happy family gathers around opening presents. Everybody's, yay. Did Jordan really get fucking brass knuckles? The hell are these gifts? Jesus. And of course, everybody, Max is happy to see his parents. He gives his mom and dad a hug, and he gets a gift, and he opens it, and it's the Krampus bell. And we get, as he's holding it, he looks around and everybody's looking at it and they're all just kind of figuring it out. Like, fuck everything. We remember what happened. And of course, as this happens, it zooms out and it's them. They're inside of a snow globe that is in the collection of Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the jump scare thing where all the creatures from the movie fucking stupid, dude. It's so bad. I remember saying, I was like,
could have left that out.
Did we need that? No, but Hey, here they all are. They're not dead. So they have to pretty much live this day every day for the rest of whatever life they have. The alternate version of this ending is the same thing, except for the family doesn't react to it. They don't react to the bell. They just continue going on about everything. The only one who's reacting to it is Max. He just stares at it. I watched. I was like, "Is that it? That was it? That was the alternate ending? All right, cool." And that's it. That is Krampus. Some let's see. I don't know. Maybe I said everything in my notes. Okay, we're good. Never mind.
It is a good movie.
It is a very good movie.
Good.
We enjoyed it. It's our first time watching it. We enjoyed it.
I have to say this is probably my favorite Michael Dougherty movie. I really like Trick or Treat, but I think this edges it out. I think Trick or Treat is a close second to me. And then of course
we should cover that next year.
Oh, that's definitely a Halloween movie for next year. And Godzilla King of the Monsters is definitely third when it comes to him, because it just doesn't feel it's a good movie, but it's not, I love these smaller films. I think I enjoy these more. I love those big blockbuster movies, but this just feels more personal.
You get a nice, like a 90-minute runtime.
Mm-hmm.
Just a boom, you get your movie, and like it's direct and everything makes sense, and I like it.
I wouldn't be opposed if they did a Krampus 2, because I feel this is a type of story that you could do a sequel to, because it's a general, this isn't based on one family. You could just do it based on somebody else, and they go through a similar experience with this character. If they don't make a sequel, I'm okay with it too, because I feel this had such an effect that I think a sequel just wouldn't have that same effect. Like, you see Krampus for the first time, you're like, holy shit. Where if you see Krampus again in this one, you're like, okay, well, I know what to expect. Mm-hmm. Same with the creatures.
They'll just fuck it up anyway. So don't let them do another one. Just don't.
I'm happy with this. I think the difference with, like, for instance, I had shared that they announced a Trick or Treat 2. Trick or Treat is a completely different style of film. It's an anthology film where different stories about different people, are happening, and then they all kind of link up at the end. And you get this one character who's not really central to the movie, but he's always there. You got Sam, the little baghead, the pumpkin head kid that always is in the places of those stories. So yeah, Trick or Treat 2 a Trick or Treat sequel makes a lot more sense than if you did a Krampus sequel, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. Opinions.
I didn't care for some of the stuff early in the film, but I like how they kind of, like, the family came together. They still had their squabbles every once in a while, but they came together for the greater good to try to protect one another. I didn't think this movie was like I know it's billed as a horror comedy. I really didn't think it was very funny.
No. I think you see people like David Koechner and you see Adam Scott, and you're like, yeah, this is, these are guys who are in a lot of comedies. This is going to have some comedy to it. I liked the tone of it. I really did. I think it drew people in because they were expecting that. And I bet you there was a lot of people who were disappointed that there wasn't more humor, but I feel like it just probably would have made it feel less, I like the fear factor of it.
Yeah, and that's what I was. I just don't like the fact it was billed. It shouldn't be that way. It should just be able, this is a horror movie. Yeah. The end. There's a few lines that were said that I may have chuckled or laughed at, like one or two tops, but that's I don't think it's very funny.
You get a lot of that in the beginning.
Yeah. I think most of it's at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
But
all right.
That's it. I loved it, though. I thought it was a good movie. Thank you for recommending it.
So that will do it for the final show of 2021, as this episode will be released on New Year's Eve.
Oh. Take a drink.
Yeah.
Take a drink for us.
So, what will 2022 entail for Dissect That Film? A lot. That's all I got to say. We will be back in the new year. Don't know what the fuck we're doing, and I'm not going to say what we're doing right now because we don't know. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to either post it on Twitter, or you guys will just be surprised next week when we release an episode.
I know what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're gonna review movies.
Yes.
What if
like
we just
that.
hang up the hat and we don't do movie reviews?
That's it. We're just fuck. It's over. It was a good
Start
run, guys.
reviewing, like various types of breads and stuff.
Cheeses.
Documentaries. We're gonna do documentaries.
Do some Mondo style documentaries. That'd be fucked.
I just watched a documentary about Beanie Babies. It's on HBO Max. It was actually a pretty interesting documentary. Okay. Also, I figured since it's the end of the year, we could talk about some movies that we maybe have seen within the last couple weeks. Just watched Don't Look Up, which is a movie on Netflix. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
A meteor movie.
Quick review. It's really fucking long and a little overdone, but I guess it's a parody movie, so it's, I guess, the reason why it was the way it was. Maybe we'll do a review on it someday, but it was okay. Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor. Jennifer Lawrence is great. There's some good performances in it. It's just too fucking long.
How long is the movie?
2.5 hours.
Ugh, not for that.
Yikes. Watched Gremlins 2 last night. Fucking love that movie. So good.
I'm just kidding.
Such a great movie.
I watched part of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at Walmart. Because we were walking around today because kids had a little bit of Christmas money, they want to buy something, and we walked to the electronics section. And I was not paying attention. I was like, let's go walk by the games, and I was just sitting there, and I heard, don't you mean peanut butter? You eat what you eat, and I'll eat or you eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like. And I was like, so there's a running gag around the house now because of me.
That's funny.
I'm just randomly, why weren't you at elf practice? Like.
What a line. What a line.
It's so good.
So good. So yeah, we will be back in 2022 with a lot of stuff. We're going to be reviewing a lot of movies, TV shows. We're going to do more topic episodes because our one topic episode was a lot of fun and I want to do more of those.
We're going to do a movie in 2022 about pornography.
Like a documentary?
No, Boogie Nights.
Okay.
I
mean, sure.
Oh,
sure.
That's whatever. That's
fucking
not a bad.
Was it Dirk Diggler?
Dirk Diggler, yeah.
Oh man, we got a lot of. Let's just say we got a lot of stuff planned for 2022. Like we've been talking about every week. We are going to be starting a Patreon. I'm not giving a release date on the Patreon because we haven't even started it. We haven't even really done any planning on it. It's just kind of out there in the universe. We got to come up with content for you guys before we even start it because there's no point in starting one if you don't have the content for it. And we all have jobs, full-time jobs. We all have kids. We have other things that we're doing. So trying to plan around all those things is difficult, but we make it work and we're going to make it work.
Why not just do a Patreon? We'll just be like the government. People will pay us and they may or may not get anything out of it in the end. Anyway, just a joke. Everybody, this is not what this is about. I just had to make that.
So
yeah, we are busy. We got things.
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on in our lives, but we're having a lot of fun doing this. And I can't wait to talk about more movies. We still have 2 more episodes of Dexter in review, which will go into 2022.
Grasp.
And
sad.
Grasp.
And then we got to figure out what's the next show we're gonna all talk about. I don't know.
And by all, he means you too.
Well, Dan, you like Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I'm just shitty about watching television shows. I already told you that. I'm really bad about watching television shows.
I was gonna say
you should watch this. Like, fantastic.
I was gonna say the Book of Boba Fett's coming out.
Yeah, like tomorrow.
I still haven't even started watching Witcher.
I haven't either.
Witcher season 2, WandaVision.
No, I had to watch the second
season 2 of Mandalorian.
Of Mandalorian by myself because he's like, I don't know when I'll ever watch it. I'm like
I liked the first season. It's a good show. I'm really weird about watching television shows.
I'm excited for 2022. There's a lot of TV shows that I want to cover on the show. I've said it a million times. The Last of Us TV show that's going to be made. We are definitely going to be doing. Even if I had to do things by myself, I will talk about these TV shows.
Well, she'll watch them. She'll for sure watch them.
We got that. There's if you have seen the newest Suicide Squad movie, There's the Peacekeeper or Peacemaker TV show that's coming out. There's the Halo TV show that's coming out next year, which, you know, we'll figure it out. There's going to be a lot of content. Don't worry.
Spoiler alert. Oh, go ahead.
No. Finish what you're saying.
Spoiler alert about Halo. It's going to suck. Sorry. I'm just kidding.
High hopes.
I honestly, I hope it's good for folks that
for Halo fans.
Yeah, people who want to watch it. I hope it's good for you. Just a little ribbing, some joshing,
and we got a lot of film franchises out there to talk about.
Jurassic Park.
I mean, we already did that, but it's doing great.
No, I mean, like the final parts next year.
Oh, that's right, Dominion in June. Yeah. Yes, we are definitely going to be talking about that.
June.
Yeah, June 22nd, 2022.
Oh. It's almost at 12K, by the way. BT dubs.
Jurassic Park 1 is at 1,000 views. It went from like 30 views to 1,000 views in a week. What the fuck?
And then Jurassic Park 3 is at 11.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're almost at 150, dude. We're almost at $1.50 subs.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
$1.50.
2021 has been a great year for Dissect That Film. Actually, I do have one more thing I want to talk about before we end the show. The episodes 1 through 18, which were the ones that we did under our former name, the Parker Chronicles. Starting next week, every Monday, where I am going to be releasing the video forms of those episodes on YouTube. They're already on the podcast services, so there's no point in me doing that again. You can already listen to them. But if you want to watch how it all started visually, I will be releasing the raw video. There's going to be no editing because there are some episodes that are like 3 fucking hours long that I don't want to edit that.
That's not my fault. My fault.
So yeah, I'm going to be releasing every single Monday. We're going to be doing like a throwback episode where we're going to be releasing the video form of the first 18 episodes. So 1 a week. So it'll be an old episode of the podcast on a Monday. We got our Wednesday Slice of TV episode, and then we'll have our newest episode of the podcast on Friday. So, and that should lead up until, probably April, maybe May, something like that.
Get some extra content for a little while.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, you guys. If you've been someone who's listened to the show since the beginning, you guys have heard the episode. But if you wanted to see, because there's, we do a lot of crazy things on the show. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we do. But it's always fun to watch, what's going on a podcast. So you guys will get those extra episodes every week. It'll be fun. Yep. It'll be easy for me because I just upload them instead of editing them.
I like it.
All right.
Tasty.
Before I ramble on, I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. 2022 is going to be, regardless of, of COVID and all the bullshit that we've gone through in 2021. I got to say, 2021 has been a fun year when it comes to content creation, especially, starting this show and being consistent with the show was something I didn't think I was going to be able to do, but bringing people on like Dan and Angela, who have been amazing, and putting out all that, taking all this time out to be on this show and help me with this show, it's been great. And hopefully we can get some people back on the show that we've had before, especially somebody who helped me start the show. It's just been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what we do in 2022. Dan's laughing for some reason.
I get what you're getting at.
Yeah, right. I'm looking forward to bringing people back on that we've had on, and also bringing new people onto the show. Especially since we started the show, I've befriended some people. Not, I haven't met anybody, but I've befriended some people on Twitter who do the same thing that we do, who have done it for a lot longer than we have. Who I'd love to have on the show. We got Remember the Game. I would we got to do that Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtle movies. We're definitely gonna have Adam Blank on the show. But I've met some great people, especially Epic Film guys are great. Movie Dumpster, and my dream is to have the Dead Meat crew on the show,
dude.
which is going to be a long shot, but hey, one can dream. And maybe some point we can get interviews with fucking famous people like actors and directors. Steven Spielberg, if you're listening to this, be on our show.
You wouldn't want me for these. I'd be like, you eat food, right? Like, that'd be like the questions I'd ask.
Oh, dude, I would. It would be great. I would literally. I think I would cry if Steven Spielberg agreed to be on our show. But before I go into it,
him weeping.
And maybe one day, the goal one day is for me, Dan, and Angela to sit down in the same fucking room and do a show together. That is the dream, to be able to actually do the show together in the same room. That is a dream. So this fucking COVID thing can just simmer the fuck down. All right? Because I need to be able to travel.
I didn't agree to any of this.
We'll just kick you
All
out.
right. Before I go on any longer, again, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you have showed on every aspect of this show. And I can't wait for 2022. Until next year, I am Brett Parker. That is DNA Gaming. This is Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film podcast. We will see you all next time. Bye.